So I just watched one of those videos, with the multiple photographers shooting the same subject. I believe this was 4 or 5 photographers shooting the same subject. It was an engagement couple. And I love these type videos because you can just sit back and watch different photographers, different techniques, their different visions on the subjects and the backgrounds. And when they're all in the same area doing the same thing. Except this one, the photographers weren't with the other photographer while they were shooting. They kept them separate. So which I think is a great idea. Have them all at the same place. You either feel obligated to shoot something different, or you don't want to, if you see the same great background, you don't want to shoot the same thing someone just shot before you, that kind of thing. So I think it's better to, to be separated and then bring one in at each time. So the one thing I did notice, now, like when you're watching these things, you will learn a lot because you're getting so many different perspectives on a subject. In this case, the engagement couple, and their techniques and how they do everything. But this was a no flash, just camera kind of set up and, bare bones kind of thing, which I think is great. But what surprised me out of this one is out of the 5 photographers, 1 photographer cared or engaged the couple. Now, I'm not saying the other 4 photographers were bad by any means or didn't engage the couple in some way, shape, or form, but the 1 photographer actually cared about bringing out emotion, bringing out the couple, and how they looked. The other photographers cared about their final images in an attempt to get the best image. So the couple were just literally objects that they moved around and used to get that perfect image. And it wasn't about them. And out of the 5 photographers, only 2 took their time with the shot. So what I mean by that is the 3 photographers literally did the machine gun shooting. For every single slight pose, there would be 10 to 20 to 30 shots, just rapid fire, okay, that's beautiful, and then, and yes, I'm old, so, I always go back to old school with film, and you had, if you were shooting medium format, you had 12 shots or 24 shots on a roll and had to switch it out, or 36 shots on the 35 millimeter. And I kept thinking, man, if we ever did that, would number one cost us a fortune, and our gear would be beat to hell in no time. And that's something to remember when you're shooting, because if you have this pose and you have the perfect lighting and the perfect expression, you take 1 or 2 shots. Do you need the other 20 that you just rattled off because you can? To me, it's just a waste. It's time consuming. I always said, when the transition came from film to digital, it was like, oh boy, it must be so much easier with digital now because you don't have to worry about film and developing. I said, it's twice as hard, and you do have to do twice the work, because film, you shot it, you made sure it was perfect in camera, you sent it out to get developed, they came back and you showed the client. That's it. And now you shoot, you go into Lightroom, and Photoshop, and there's so much back-end work. You don't just send it out to a lab and let them do the work, you do everything. So, this double work zone, and then you're gonna shoot 20 shots for every single nuance of a pose, it doesn't make sense to me. And the back end of that is the fact that your shutter has a lifespan. So even if you don't care about having to spend $300 or $400 or $500 to get a shutter replaced, which again doesn't make sense to me, you're going to be without the camera for weeks at a time. So getting back to the shoot itself and caring about the couple, the photographers, even though it was a challenge, the photography challenge should be the end image and your subject liking the end image versus you getting the best shot out of everybody. And you may say this should be synonymous. Well, it should be, but if you don't pay attention to the couple and you just move them around quickly as you possibly can to get the shot, to get the best lighting, to get the best everything, why not take your time, look for that best shot, look for that best lighting, and make an image. Anyway, that being here nor there, watching this type of video is entertaining and can be very educational, despite the rushing, the pushing, the running, and ignoring the couple as your actual subjects, as human beings. Some of the shots that some of them got were nice. No ifs, ands, or buts, but to run that much into that it was kind of insane to me. But again, that's when you learn something, you go, hey, wait a second, maybe I shouldn't rush my couples, maybe I shouldn't rush my people because I only have a limited time and I want to get the best shot or get as many shots as I possibly can in, versus getting the shot, the best shot, and taking my time. So anyway, that's my rant for today. I hope everybody's having a spectacular day, and I will talk to you soon.